A muse can be a mirror, a reflection of the artist's desires, his needs, his anxieties, and his fears, his dreams. Hello and welcome to The Muse. And as you know, this is the show where we take you on that journey in order to express different shades of creativity just for you across all walks of life. My name is Peace Adeniro, and today is going to be very interesting. I have an author in the studio already. I can't wait to start unwrapping what I have in stock for you. There are different things on the show we're going to be doing. We're going to be having discussions, we'll be playing games, we'll be reading excerpts from the book in review, and lots more. So please relax, sit back, and enjoy. Let's go check out his profile. I'll be back shortly after.
Sylvia Nze Ifedigbo writes fiction, creative non-fiction, and socio-political commentaries. He has published a novel, My Mind Is No Longer Here, in 2018, a collection of stories, The Funeral Did Not End, 2012, and a novella, Whispering Aloud, 2007. His short stories have appeared in various publications, including Peak of the Spindle, African Writer, Maple Tree Literary Supplement, Saraba Kalahari Review, True Africa, Afrida, and Thrice Fiction Magazine. His novel, Believers and Hustlers, will be published in Nigeria by Paresa Books in 2021. Sylvia enjoys cake, as should all right-thinking people. He is a fan of Manchester United and believes that the calling of a writer is to study humans explicitly and document same in simple, memorable stories. He lives in Lagos, Nigeria. Today on The Muse, our guest is Sylvia Nze Ifedigbo. I have with me today Sylvia Ifedigbo, and I'm so happy to be in the studio with him. We're going to be having this conversation together. He's an author, and he is the author of My Mind Is No Longer Here. First off, welcome, Sylvia.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
My mind is no longer here. Why is your mind no longer here?
Well, that's the state of mind of the characters, of four of the characters in the book, who longing, with the desperation to leave the country. So I guess we'll go into details of the book. And
definitely. And I particularly like the art on the book, the balloon. That cannot wait to fly away.
Floating balloon.
I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the book now. What inspired this book?
All right. Anyone who lives here in this part of the world is aware of the desperation among young people, in fact, people of all ages, really, to leave the country. And this desperation, which has always been since the 80s, has come to a head, more recently. With you hear stories of people trying to live through illegal routes, taking the desert through the Sahara to the Mediterranean. A whole lot not actually making it there. We have stories of human trafficking, drug peddling. Most of it are linked to people who have formed an industry really around, selling hope to people about a better, a greener, a better place somewhere else, and young people who feel failed by this system, by this country, looking for a better life, are giving it everything sometimes, and in fact, in a good number of occasions, without logical thinking to it, to just get across to where life is better.
Wow. This book started out as a challenge, a national novel writing challenge. So did you intend for it right from the onset to be something that everyone would read, or you were just writing for yourself?
All right. I set out, quite frankly, to write a novel. I had put out a collection of stories. The Funeral Did Not End, sometime 2011 or so. So around 2012, there's like you said, the National Novel Writing Month. It's sometime in November. It's like a global challenge made even more popular by the social media. So it has this hashtag. So writers, you challenge yourself to be able to write a novel in a month, through that month. And I was working a regular job. I took my annual leave to and part of it was to challenge myself to do it. And interestingly, by the time the month was done, I had knocked out the first draft of what you have today, as my mind is no longer here. But like, you know, for all for most books, it's that first draft is really nothing compared to what the final product is. There is a whole lot happens in between, you know, from your rewrites, you edit, you work with various editors and all of that until you get the final published version of it. But it takes that first effort, you know, to get it out, get the story out, and then you can start making it better.
And this is your debut novel, and I must say that you did an excellent job with it. I was reading and I felt like I felt like I was in the book. I felt angry, you know. This always happens whenever I'm reading a story that is really catchy. You know, I feel the emotions of the characters. Now, this book it's like a spectrum of emotions altogether. Frustration, anger, hypocrisy, a lot of things. So what did you, what is the aim? What do you aim to achieve in the minds of the reader when they read this book?
All right. First, I like to describe myself as a storyteller. Okay. All right. So I tell stories, and stories especially of human experiences. Now, human experiences is a collection of various emotions, like you've said. You know, there is joy, there is laughter, there is pain. You know, there's anguish, but even in that, there is love, there is humor, there is every other, you know, every other attribute of human experience. And for me, that was, you know, that's the basic intent, to tell a story. All right. And one of those who initial reviews of the book said it was like a fictionalized social commentary. So essentially writing a story about a social issue, right? But putting it in fiction.
Creating characters around it.
So you're speaking about relatable humans experiencing that issue, but it's in a book, so it is entertaining, it's enlightening, and then, you know, it makes for leisure, you know, as well. So in that process, you are not exactly preaching to the reader or saying anything in particular to them. You are leaving them to live the experience of the characters through the book and then reach their own conclusions on what they want to take out of it, you know, based on the experiences of the characters as well.
Talking about the characters, we have Chidi, we have Donatus, we have Haruna, and Osahon, and Yinka. So 4 guys are supposed to travel out of the country looking for greener pastures. That's Chidi, Haruna, Osahon, and Donatus. And Yinka is the supposed consultant that they were supposed to work with at the end of the day. So when we look at the 3 of the characters, that's Chidi, Osahon, and Donatus, they all had things going on with them. Like, they had their different challenges, say money challenge, one was wanted for a crime, and all of that. But Haruna seems to be the most educated one, and he seems to be of a higher social class. And still we could see that he is desperate to be out of the country. Why is that? Is it that we have people in that line as well? So
you see, what I tried to do in the book is I had multiple characters, like you've noted, and I wanted to tell the story from each of their perspectives, and trying to show that, you see, this desperation to leave comes in different forms, you know, so everybody, you know, there's something chasing everybody, really. So when you see people in that state, they have their backstory. There's something making them do what they're doing. Now, for Haruna, he seemed more enlightened, more successful, in quotes. You know, he was a medical doctor and all. But through him, I was showing that, see, this desperation doesn't stop with just people who are of the lower class or people who don't have jobs and all. Even people who are very well educated, people who have you know, what is called steady income, very good middle class, you know, are also itching to go, because they also have their own stories. There are people who have gotten to a point where you just feel, this system has failed me. I just want to drop everything and go somewhere else and start again. And that was his story. His own story was a disappointment that without giving out so much of the book, that after all his mother had done to help him get through medical school. He couldn't save her because the system had failed both of them. I know even as a doctor, he couldn't save her, and he felt at this point, I just needed to leave.
A lot of people want to travel out of the country in search of greener pastures and better opportunities, which is such a great ambition, especially for people in developing countries. They want to go into developed countries to just make life better for themselves. So at what point does this cross the borderline of it just being an ambition into desperation?
All right. Yeah, I mean, people could aspire to go abroad, could study, could be for study, could be to work for some time and maybe head back home and things like that. But then it gets to a point of desperation when you are not thinking of anything else. You are consumed by that thought of leaving. And I mean, for most of us who might have encountered such a person, one character in my book said, the happiest place to be in Nigeria is the departure lounge of the international airport, right? There are people who have, it's like they've invested their life into trying to get a visa. So they are from one embassy to the other, they fail, they come back. There are people who have tried the Sahara Desert route, they go, they fail, they come back. There are people who have been deported, they still want to go. Despite all the stories of the hardship, people are willingly going, trying to make those very dangerous crossings across the Mediterranean and all. And then you see the desperation in the fact that you complain that things are bad with you here, right? You're poor, you don't have, you're not living the kind of life you want to live. You want to go elsewhere for greener pasture, but you're ready to invest an amount, right, that could actually set you up fairly well here, right? You are to pay the likes of Yinka or such agents to help you go abroad, So is that's when you've gotten to a point where you've lost complete faith in your ability to be anything better where you are. That becomes desperation because you're not thinking of succeeding here anymore. You're just thinking that I need to go.
And you're willing to do anything.
And you're willing to do anything to
even
make
if
that
it's
cross.
illegal.
Yeah.
Even if it's going there and doing things illegal just to be able to send. And there is this class, so to speak, that is attached to someone being abroad. Like, oh, I have a brother abroad. You don't know what the brother is doing.
And then
but the fact that, oh, I have a son abroad.
They post pictures online and they send
pictures with winter coats.
And
summer.
then you think they are doing well. They come back wearing big trainers and jackets, and everybody around the street is, I really want to go abroad. It must be good there. But if you want to know the reality of their life there, you prefer just being back here and enjoying the dignity of being at home.
Just like a character in the book said, Felix Snow, that there is no place like home. No matter how high you fly as a black man in some countries, you can never be called an expatriate.
Never.
You'll be a second-class citizen, so to speak. So there's no place like your fatherland. That's what we preach every time. All right, so do you have other publications in the works?
Oh, sure. I've completed another novel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Happy to speak about it. It's titled Believers and Hustlers. It should be due out also from Parisia Publishers in August of this year. Okay. Hopefully in a few weeks we'll have the cover reveal and all of those. So it's an exciting story. I'm really happy to share that story. Wow. This time I tried to shake some tables. Okay. Because I ventured into writing about issues around religion and the hypocrisy around the practice of religion.
That topic is really, it's a really sensitive one.
It's sensitive, yes, and it could be controversial as well, but it's an important story to be told. And like I mentioned earlier, I like to tell stories that are socially relevant. And I think this should be, hopefully, when readers like you, yourself, and the others out there read it, the feedback should be great.
Okay, so most of your works now are prose. Do you intend delving into other aspects, like say poetry or drama or?
All right, mostly I write prose, like you said, different kinds of it. So it could be a full-length novel, like in the case of My Mind Is No Longer Here, or or Believers and Hustlers that I mentioned. But before My Mind Is No Longer Here, I wrote a collection of short stories. So I love writing short stories as well. I also write creative non-fiction and essays. For poetry, yes, I grew up writing poetry. Funnily, you know, sometime in secondary school, boarding school, I made quite some money writing poetry for people who needed to impress their girlfriends, you know, just like that. But my poetry has remained largely personal, you know.
Why?
So I write poetry around personal occurrences and experiences.
Do you have them out there for people to?
Yeah, well beyond on the social media universe, right? You encounter some of it. There's something that used to be Facebook used to have called Facebook Notes. You know, I used to put out some of my poetry on Facebook Notes back then, but not very recently. You know, I also have a blog, the Silva at WordPress. It's a WordPress blog. If you check some years back, you know, you find some of my poetry there. But of late, I've not really put out anything for public consumption. Personally, I just want to be known for something I'm very good at, you know, not like jack of all trades and then I'm not a master. So I've focused quite some of my energy in writing prose, you know, in trying to be better at it, in learning from others as well, and, you know, just being who I am, because that's my strength.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what are the challenges you face as a creative in this climb?
Talk about challenges, then my mind will also no longer be here, right?
Yeah, right.
Because quite some challenges. First, especially when you're trying to write, you know, think of Lagos as a city. For most writers, you need a certain amount of serene and peace to write. Oh, yeah. It's a luxury here in Lagos. Even if you're not on the streets, the fact that NEPA could go off at any point, and then your neighbor's generator or even yourself means you have noise that already affects you. But even more, you are in a situation where you can't really subsist on earnings from creative work. In this sense, books, you know, unlike maybe the musicians or actors and all. So you find that you need to do a job, you know, you do something more regular. And that keeps you, and that, I mean, in that sense, I mean, maybe something like a 9 to 5, right? And I think of yourself in traffic in the mornings, and then you're coming back, and then you're tired, and you have very little creative space to actually put out the best work. There aren't too many opportunities like residencies, you know, where writers just go somewhere, everything around you is taken care of. You just write. All your work is right, or even a number of awards or even fellowships where, you know, you just enjoy it. There are very few of them are open to Nigerians and Africans. So those are some of the challenges. There is also the fact that publishing is not, it could be better, could be a lot better. We have very few traditional publishers, in the sense of traditional publishing, where you write, all you do is write, and you pass it on to a publisher who takes care of every other thing. So I'm among the few lucky people, you know, who the traditional publishing industry can accommodate. A whole lot of other people just do it, you know, go the whole hog themselves, write, find an editor, find someone who prints it, sell themselves, and all of that. So these are also challenges. So most very creative minds are not having the outlets to actually put their work out for readers. Some of it is made better by technology. You know, people can put out their work on digital platforms. Things like Okada books and all that could help, but for the most part, there's still, you know, a whole lot of gatekeeping, if you like, an opportunity for people to. And it's also not the fault of publishers. Publishing also has to be looked at as a business. You know, there's the economics of it as well. The publisher has staff. He needs to make a profit to pay the staff, to also live a good life and all of those. So, there's a limit to how much they can take. Because on the other hand, there is also the reading culture of the people. How much books are they selling, which would ensure that they are able to take in more. So it's a whole lot of challenges. But for most of us who are into this, it's something you can't do without doing, so
Yeah.
it's almost
You
like
just
it's
have
part
to
of your
adapt,
life. So
yeah.
I must write, it's just there. And then we keep doing it, like they say, for the culture.
For the culture, yeah. Right. So how do you unwind when you're not writing and you're not doing your regular job?
First, I'm a big soccer fan.
Okay, what club do you support?
Manchester United. And we're playing the finals of the Europa Cup today, and we'll win. All right.
Well, I don't have anything to say to that. Who are you guys playing?
We're playing with Villarreal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you should win.
And then I read a lot, like you could expect, and I watch a whole lot of TV. So I mean, TV is like so movies, TV shows, whatever, the news. I could just while away a whole lot of time in front of the TV.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, it's been nice talking to you. Thank you so much for having this conversation with me. And this book is a must read for you. My mind is no longer here. Thank you so much for doing this with me, but there is still more to come. So kindly sit back, relax with your cup of wine or with your glass of wine or whatever. I'll be back. You're welcome back from that short break, and this is the part where we read excerpts from the book. So I am going to be reading with Sylvia today, and we're reading chapter 14, titled Yinka. Remember I said there are 4 characters, so this is Yinka's character now. So let me just start. Yinka, you did not tell me you had changed your car now, Damilola said as he sank into the passenger side of Yinka's car and slammed the door. I was there looking for your old ride. I did not know. Wow. He looked around the car, running his hands over the leather seat.
I told you red Jeep now, Yinka said, touching a button on his steering to turn down the volume of the music. He had been waiting for Damilola in the hotel parking lot and was a little irritated he had taken him so long to locate where he was parked.
You said red Jeep, not red Range. Range and ordinary Jeep, are they the same thing? Damilola asked, still admiring the car interior. Oh, God damn me. Leave that matter, Joe. Yinka teased back. When Lagos big boys like you are talking, my name should not be mentioned. Without people like you, there cannot be us now. Damilola grinned. He was the man who handled things for the organization at the airport, ensuring hitch-free transit for men and their goods. He was paid handsomely. Too handsomely in Yinka's opinion, but because Otumba trusted him so much, he always got away with his demands.
How far? You said you were meeting an Oyibo man here, Yinka asked, reducing the volume of the music even more.
Oh yeah, the expert like that. The man has been disturbing me on phone, asking for us to see. I even thought it was business.
It wasn't?
For where? I got here to find out it was woman talk. You will not believe all he has been bugging me about is one woman like that he likes.
Woman care.
I'm telling you. I met this guy at one event like that at the UK Deputy High Commissioner's house last month. The woman was there too. She's an old friend from way back. So we were all chatting and drinking wine. You know how all those Oyinbo parties are now? There was some dancing too. She danced with the Oyinbo guy and was whining her behind for him. It was all joke, but the man apparently got so turned on. He has been disturbing me since last night that he likes her, that I should arrange her for him.
Are you serious?
I resemble person with a joke. Damilola made a serious face. Well, Sha, I've told him that the woman is married and her husband is a very big man. If the man catches him, they will deport his expat ass back to Holland or wherever he is from.
Yinka purged the steering as he laughed, sounding the horn unconsciously. I
am telling you, Damilola continued in a matter-of-fact tone. These experts can chase our women, eh? You know that their own women lack assets at the right places. So when they just see a Niger woman, they start doing like teenagers. I hear they lobby specially to be posted to Nigeria just for the women. And for those who are unable to come here, we supply them the women in their own country, Yinka said in a chuckle. Abio. So waiting day, you sounded like there is business. Yinka gathered himself together, sat up and turned the music off entirely. Stretching his hand across to the glove compartment, he brought out a pack of noodles and dropped it on Damilola's lap. Damilola turned the pack around in his hands and looked up at Yinka, his eyes requesting an explanation. And what is that explanation? get the book and read. You will know what we're talking about. Let's go on this quick break. So we'll be back for the game session. I'm so excited. Do not go anywhere. Please stay tuned. You're welcome to the game segment of the Muse, and I love this segment so much because I get to play our game with Sylvia, and he's still in the studio with me. So Sylvia, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Ready. Yeah.
All right, so this is the game. It's a word construction game. You say a word because you're starting. So you say a word. I pick the last letter of your word. It starts my own word. I say the word and then you pick the last letter. It goes on and on and on like that until someone loses out. Okay. And then we move to level 2. Right. So level 2 will be the last 2 letters instead of the last letter. Level 3, the last 3 letters. Now these are the rules. No stuttering, no stammering, no hesitating, no freezing. No 2-letter words, no 3-letter words, because of course that's going to be fraud. And no hesitation. Okay, I already said that. Then no saying of any word that has been said before. If you mention any word that has been said by either of us before, it automatically disqualifies anyone who makes that mistake. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Give me your word.
Let's start with illusions.
Simultaneously.
Yellow.
Ma?
Yellow.
Sorry. Okay, so I've lost on the first level because I...
Yeah.
Wait, see, let me explain. I didn't hear what you said, but that is not supposed to be an excuse. Okay. But then it is what it is. So automatically, Silva has won the first level. Let's move on to the second level, which is the last 2 letters.
So you
I'm very sure I'll win this one. I'll be starting. I'm very sure I'll win this. Okay, so your word is flexible.
Bless.
No. I want so
L-E.
It's supposed to be L-E. Say lexicon, say lieutenant, say but I already said it. I'm going to win this and I won. So we have 1-1. So the third level will be the last 3 letters. You want to go? Pick a word from your collection.
I pick a word from here. It will be very easy for you.
You think so? I'm waiting.
Okay, let's do cocktail.
Ailment. You didn't expect me to say ailment. I got you there. I was expecting you to say something like entertainment, enterprise, entrepreneur, and all of that. No.
I think I just froze. Well,
So
I give it to you. Nice
yeah,
one.
clap for me
Nice
now.
one,
It's not easy. It's not easy.
one.
Yeah, that makes it 2 points to 1. So I have won the game segment of this episode. I'm so excited. All right, thank you so much for playing the game with me.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead now and sign the Muse board. We'll be back. You know that I won't let Silva go on the show today without him observing the Muse tradition, and that is getting up to go sign the Muse board. So Silva, I need to go put your signature on that board for us.
Oh, nice.
Tells us that you were here,
I was
and
here.
Whenever we look at the board, we see something that belongs to you, so to speak.
So, I can take any space, right?
Yes, any space.
Okay, let's do this.
Thanks for coming, and thanks for signing.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Please have your seat.
All right.
And on behalf of the team, we're presenting this to you. It's a token of our appreciation. Thank you so much for
Find
coming.
a good space for this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And this too.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
It is our pleasure.
Sure.
It is always our pleasure. And thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Niger Hair Factory for my hair and Crystal West for this beautiful gown. And thanks to you for sticking with me from the beginning of the show down to this moment. You can follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at High Impact TV and High Impact TV UK. My name is Peace Adeniro. Until I see you again next week, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.